Oh hey, you want to play some guys? Some Ehrgeiz. No, not Ehrgeiz. I'm talking about the video game Ehrgeiz. This one in particular. Now I love fighting games. Before this became a thing, I was a competitive gamer.
I attended many local tournaments, went to EVO, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, a few times, and even won occasionally.
So fighting games are my thing. Ehrgeiz, however, isn't your typical fighting game. It still meets the criteria for one though. But before I review the game, let's address the elephant in the room and let's get this question out of the way. What the heck is Ehrgeiz? Let me look it up.
Okay, Ehrgeiz, from the German word meaning ambition, personal pride, push, or drive. Well, this game was pretty ambitious for its time.
Ehrgeiz is the product of 3 different video game companies. Namco, most famous for their Tekken series, Squaresoft, now known as Square Enix, most famous for the Final Fantasy series, and Dream Factory, most famous for the Tobal No. 1 games. And what is there to say about Tobal No. 1?
Well, it was one of the first fighting games available for the PlayStation, and it sure looks like it, but it's a pretty decent fighting game. The movements are very fluid, and you can wave dash and Korea backdash. Most pro players of 3D fighters know what I'm talking about, and the OST is pretty good. It does have some comedic aspects. Like, why do most characters in this game have power bombs?
Oh, no! That's a power bomb!
Then there's this thing. Just what the heck is that thing? Don't know, but it's never explained in the game what that character is supposed to be.
Anyway, Ehrgeiz was first made available in the arcades. Since Squaresoft had a hand in its creation, I guess they figured, let's throw in some Final Fantasy VII characters and it'll sell like hotcakes.
Of course. The old fame by association technique. Since Final Fantasy VII was still fresh in the minds of the consumer, and since people were drooling over Cloud Strife and his big sword, and Tifa Flockhart and her big boobs, you could slap their pictures on a moon pie and people would flood stores and buy them all. And what's worse is that the PlayStation version added even more Final Fantasy characters.
But I digress. Let's check out the PlayStation version of this game.
So here's the title screen, and off the bat, you notice that you have several different modes to choose from. The first pick is the fighting game itself. Brand New Quest is an RPG style game featuring what I believe are the 2 main characters in this game. I'll talk about this later. Then you have 4 minigames. An Infinity Battle, which is just opponent after opponent, and it ends after you lose or get tired and just shut off the game. Battle Runner is just a race around the stage mixed in with some fighting. The red and blue bars on top represent the struggle between both characters. If one bar is higher than the other, that character gets knocked out for a period of time. There are also power-ups that look like stars. The yellow ones make you faster, and the red ones make the goal and start backwards. Battle Beach is basically a series of challenges taking place at the beach. They include races, a little capture the flag, and jumping hurdles, which the timing is so annoying I lose every time. Battle Panel is a weird game where the object is to change the different colored squares to red or blue depending on what color you're given. The CPU seems to have an unfair advantage in this game. These games are more enjoyable if played with a second player. So let's navigate the title screen and...
Whoa, what the heck was that sound?
Ouch. Man, that sound is very loud and annoying. Is this sound necessary? So I choose the fighting game, and look at the title screen here. It has the Ehrgeiz logo twice. Don't they think that we know the name of the game by now? Do they really have to place the Ehrgeiz logo or the name twice? So, you pick your character and the fight begins. Off the bat, you notice that the playstyle is very different from traditional fighters. That's because Ehrgeiz is a free roam 3D fighter. You can run around and jump on top of the various areas within the game. Many other fighting games would adopt this similar platform, such as the Power Stone series, Distriga, and the unreleased Thrill Kill. I'm a real big fan of this Dasher Inoba, him being a pro wrestler and all. He's modeled after Japanese pro wrestler Antonio Inoki. I like how he gets into position and then charges at you. When I first played this game as a kid, I noticed that many of the Ehrgeiz characters bore a strong resemblance to many of the characters from Tekken 3. I'm not sure if this was done intentionally, but it is worth noting that the president of Dream Factory, Seiichi Ishii, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, worked on the first Tekken and Virtua Fighter games. So maybe that's why there's a resemblance. Also, the character God Hand is known as Ken Mishima and is directly related to Heihachi Mishima of the Tekken. I wonder if God Hand will ever make an appearance as a DLC character for future Tekken titles. So, as you progress throughout the game and beat all the different characters, you'll eventually make it to the last boss of the game, Django, who is very difficult to fight due to the fact that, well, he's a freaking wolf, and his height makes it hard to hit him. Inoba can still powerbomb him and it looks funny. So once you beat Django, you'd think the game would be over, but then you find yourself fighting a humongous version of Django with the end credits rolling and no life bar. If you manage to win, there's some sort of secret that's supposed to happen, but I've never beaten this part of the game to figure out what happens. There's not much to it. You can play as one of two different characters. If you beat the game or beat the fighting game with every character, you can eventually unlock them both in the fighting game. You start off exploring a dungeon when all of a sudden you're knocked unconscious and you awaken in the room of a hotel where the hotel clerk downstairs explains that you're now in a different dimension. I guess unconscious people from different dimensions frequently visit this town, as everyone in town seems to know you're from a different dimension. Anyway, be sure to equip the items you're given and head up to the mountain to enter the cave, and your adventure begins. As you explore this cave, you'll be constantly surrounded by various monsters. After you kill them, they drop various items, such as food, gold, weapons, and other items. This game is unique because you have to constantly eat to have strength. All the foods in this game have different nutrients. Meat has protein and other foods have carbs and other nutrients. Depending on what you eat will depend on what gains stats when you level up. If you only eat meat, then when you level up, only your strength will increase. Everything else will stay the same. So be sure to have a balanced diet when you eat in this game. What I find dumb is the fact that weapons break. Here, you're given a glass sword, so I equip it, and it breaks on the first swing. So now, I'm forced to fight all these monsters without a weapon, and they don't even let you access the menu when you're fighting monsters. So if you're low in health and your weapon breaks, you're in deep trouble. Sometimes, or should I say most of the time, there are secret buttons that you'll accidentally step on. Once you do, the doors close and won't open unless you kill all the monsters. If you take too long, more monsters respawn, and again, if you're low in health, it's safe to say that you're screwed. You can only play as one character at a time, and if they die, it'll be the other one's turn, but you'll lose all of your inventory. The good thing is that you can resurrect your fallen comrade if you go to the place where they died, and you get your items back. When you start getting the dragon wings, make sure to only use them in emergencies, as they will take you back to the village, and trust me, you're gonna be going back there a lot. The portal stays open even if you enter different houses, so stock up on what you need, enter the portal, and it will take you right back to where you were. It's going to feel redundant at this point, but try to persevere and you'll make it to the first boss in the game, this green ogre looking thing. Every time you hit him, he spins, so just find your spacing and he'll be easy work. You continue to go down through these mazes, expect to lose a few times. I tried to advance in this game, but I kept dying and dying and dying and dying.
So that's about all I could take, man. Overall, you're going to play Ehrgeiz for the fighting game part of it, not the RPG part of it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.